My favorite players. It's been a while, Jimmer. How you doing?
I'm good, Jeff. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. You got to be great as a BYU guy that Kevin Young has flipped this thing as quickly as he has. I know you were there yesterday. What's it been like watching this team over the last probably month or so? The way they've played, and again, they're fun. They're fun to watch, especially for somebody like you who loves offense.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I knew from the beginning of the year that there were gonna be some growing pains. I knew that with the new coach, we had a lot of new players, new system. Everyone was gonna have to find their role. They were gonna have to find who was their guy to go to, and everybody else is gonna have to kind of fill in. And it's been great to watch them just progress and continue to stay the course throughout the whole season. Obviously, through the Big 12, which is a difficult conference, and was able to be in the top 4 by the end of it. And they're just playing and peaking at the right time, right? Like they're just playing good basketball, their best basketball going into the NCAA tournament. And like you said, they play high style offense, just like we played back in the day. So it's fun to watch. They score a lot of points, and I think they have a good shot tomorrow against Wisconsin.
Yeah, I mean, let's just kind of go into that offense. I mean, when you watch it, do you just, damn, I kind of wish I was in that. Like, what is it about Kevin Young's offense that is working so well for the Cougars right now?
Yeah, it's up tempo. Obviously, they play a style of pro basketball. Right? He brought that from the NBA. Try to get as many shots off as you can and do it quickly. Take the first available good shot. I will say I don't think that I was deprived any shots at my time at BYU. So I will say that we got up and down, and they let me shoot kind of the way I wanted to anyway, which was great. Had a great experience there when I was there. But obviously his offense is working on all cylinders, and it's fun to watch.
Jimmer, Brad Evans here. How much have you seen of Wisconsin this season? It seems like they're almost a mirror image in their strengths and weaknesses from BYU. It could be a game like first to 90 wins.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's I've seen them a little bit. I haven't seen them a ton. I watched them in the Big Ten tournament. I've watched them a few other games. It's going to be a good battle. I mean, they're kind of a team that's peaking at the right time as well. They've played well at the end of the season. So there'll be a different challenge than VCU was. VCU is very much, pressure all the time. That's not necessarily, Wisconsin's MO. They have a little bit bigger guys, but they can score the basketball. They have good guards that can shoot. They're quick. So it'll be an interesting matchup. I mean, nowadays it's almost like who shoots better, right? Whoever shoots better is going to win. And that's kind of the way of the game, and whoever can make a play at the end of the game. And I have trust in the coaching staff, and guys like Richie that can make plays towards the end of the game to hopefully get us a win.
Jimmer, you were one of the first college basketball players to kind of go viral, right? When you started having that senior season, when Jimmer Mania was at its peak, I just remember. It was before you could get every single channel on TV. We're finding like these grainy streams to watch you tip off at 11 o'clock out in the Mountain West. And what was it like when that was at its peak, with the top level of kind of attention you were getting?
Yeah, no, it was definitely interesting. It was right kind of when Twitter was starting to come into fruition. It was really weird. Like if I feel so old, saying that, like it was only 15 years ago, and it was the start of social media. Like it's unbelievable how it's progressed in the last 10, 12 years. But I remember back, it really popped off when we played against San Diego State that one game at our place, and there was 2 top 10 teams that were coming into town, and Kawhi Leonard was on the team, and they had a bunch of really good players. And everybody seemed to be able to find that grainy stream. They were able to watch it somehow, some way, and had everyone kind of tweeting about it afterwards, a lot of celebrities. And so at that point, my life kind of changed, and our team's life kind of changed. And then everything was, kind of just Jimmer Mania, I feel like, started at that point.
Jimmer, could you talk a little bit about, and this is just me because I got a chance to watch you a little bit over the summer, talk a little bit about your experience doing the 3-on-3 stuff, getting an opportunity to compete in like the Olympics and stuff for a gold medal this year.
Yeah, unbelievable experience. Had played 5-on-5 obviously for like 11 years. And then, Fran Fraschilla came to me and asked if I would want to be able to help us qualify for the Olympics in 3x3. And, I heard the word Olympics and I was like, man, I got to try this, right? This is something that I at least got to try. So I tried it for the first, few tournaments, and I really ended up liking it. It's just it's a fun sport. It's competitive. It's just different than what I've been doing for the last, 20 years. And, but it was still basketball, but it was something that I could get better at and help us qualify for the Olympics. And we fortunately were able to do that. And we're able to, be the number one team going into the Olympics, which was great. And then ended up getting injured right at the beginning of the Olympics and wasn't able to compete for the rest of it, which was really, really difficult. It was a bummer because I felt like we could have had a chance to medal at that thing. And, so that was a bummer. But besides that, what an honor it was to be able to put USA on your chest and be able to represent your country and also be able to go and do this opening ceremonies and do all the things that Olympians get to do. So what a cool experience that, my family and I will never forget.
Jim, I've covered this sport forever, and I'll say this. Your battles against Kawhi, I was at both of those in person. They're two top 5 games that I've ever been to, atmosphere-wise. Like, those were electric. Yeah. I wish all these guys could have had a chance to been there for those because, again, they were just incredible. Like, going to Provo for that game, It was – that crowd outside – it was insane. Like, I haven't seen anything like that since, to be honest, anywhere. Are you surprised at all? Because go ahead. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it was such a unique experience. Like the whole city of Provo just kind of rallied around that team. The state of Utah in general, and I know University of Utah fans don't want to admit it, but they were actually cheering for us a little bit too, which is pretty crazy. When you think about the rivalry that we've had. But it was just, I remember that game and it was so loud that I actually had to stop and listen and think about it. Or I was like, man, this is actually really loud right now. The floor was kind of rumbling. You don't usually hear that when you're playing. You don't really feel it. And that night I did. I felt it. And it was just, the energy was just different than any other place I'd ever been to.
So the NIL for BYU is insane. I asked Danny Ainge last week. I'm like, how much money did you put in there? And he wouldn't tell me. But I think it surprised all of us outside of that BYU community how they're able to put together this NIL package for this year and certainly for next year to land AJ Dybantsa and pay him that type of money. Were you surprised at all? Have you been at the way the community has rallied around KY and being able to put together that type of financial resources?
Once I knew that they were going after KY, I knew that it was probably going to go this way because you don't bring in a guy like that with NBA experience and pay him that kind of money without backing, without NIL backing, actually being able to go out and do something and give him the resources that he needs to go, be successful. The thing about BYU in Utah is that we have a lot of reach. There's it's affiliated with the Church of Jesus Christ, the Latter-day Saints, and we have members everywhere. And they're all over the world. And there's a lot of people that have been very successful. I mean, the Utah is now considered, the Silicon Slopes, which is like a mini Silicon Valley. And there's a ton of tech companies that are coming through there that are doing really well. So you're getting a lot of people that have a lot of money that are moving into Utah that have done really well. And they're all supporters, or a lot of supporters of BYU. And because of that, they love sports and they want to be involved. And this is the biggest way that they can do that and the best way they can do that. So they really have done a good job of rallying the community together and, for a purpose and a goal to be able to do really well in sports. And obviously it's worked so far. They've done a good job, one of the best in the country, what I've considered for, how they've kind of gotten the collective together and been able to go out and get talent from both football and the basketball side. So I don't see that changing anytime soon. I think that people are enjoying it, but I'm sure something will happen and change with NIL in general, but BYU is definitely going to try to be out in front of it.